Hi guys, welcome. Today we are going to look at how to write a function that accepts an arbitrary number of keyword arguments. Remember in the last lesson we saw how to write a function that accepts any number of positional arguments, and we did that by preceding our parameter name with an asterisk. Today we are going to focus on how to write a function that accepts any number of keyword arguments. And to do that, the parameter is preceded with two asterisks, just like we have here. Let's see how it works. From here on, I'm going to go to VS Code. That's where I'll write all the code and do all the explanations. So like I already explained, we want to see how to write functions that accept any number of keyword arguments. And keyword arguments are basically just arguments that are passed with key value pairs. Just like you would see in a dictionary has key value pairs. Let's see how this works. Let's see an example. Just to explain a bit more, in Python, kwargs stands for keyword arguments. So in this example, we have a function named example. This function takes in a parameter called kwargs, and kwargs is preceded with two asterisks. What this means is that this function can accept any number of keyword arguments. So at the point of calling this function, we have to provide keyword arguments, any number of keyword arguments at all that we may want to provide. And on this line, we are using Python's built-in items method to iterate through the key value pairs. I should have mentioned that when you have two asterisks precede your parameter, Python is going to collect all the keyword arguments that's passed into the function and make them into a dictionary. So in this example, we are iterating through the key value pairs that have been collected into a dictionary. And on line 7, we are printing out the keys and the values. So basically, we're printing out the key value pairs. Now let's run this code. So you can see here in the terminal that we have the key value pairs printed. We have name, which is the key, and it has the value in say, just like we provided here at the point of function call. And then it also prints age and assigns it the value 25. It prints country and assigns it the value Nigeria. So you can see that though we appear to have just one parameter provided here, we are able to print this many arguments. So we can call this function with totally different arguments. Let's see that. I'm going to comment out this first example just so we don't get confused, and then I'll clear the terminal. Let's run this code, and you're going to see that this time we have key school given the value home school. We have the key interest given the value coding, and then we have the key language assigned the value Python. And then, like I said, it doesn't even really matter how many key value pairs we have provided here. I could decide to do away with one. I'll just save and clear. So now notice that we have just two key value pairs provided here, and this code still works fine. We can decide to have just one key value pair and this code still works fine. So it doesn't really matter how many arguments that you have provided here, as long as your parameter is preceded with two asterisks. This is very useful when you want to use dynamic arguments in your function, or when you're not exactly sure what the arguments in your function would be. So you can just have two asterisks precede your parameter name, and then you'd be able to play with the arguments that you provide at the point of function call. As you saw in the example, note however that kwarg is just a naming convention. You can call your parameter any valid name at all. The key thing is to precede the parameter with two asterisks. So for instance, if we take away the two asterisks, then this becomes like a function that just takes in exactly one parameter. So if we try and run this code the way it is, remember that we have taken out the two asterisks. So this function is now going to accept exactly one argument at the point of function call. Let's try and run it and see what happens. We have a type error, and that's because we are providing a keyword argument. And so Python is telling us here that this keyword argument is unexpected. Let's see one last example before we call it a day. In this example, we have the person function and we have kwarg parameter. I'm just going to change this name to any random name just to show us that it doesn't have to be kwargs. It could be anything else. Let's call it any name. And that means I have to replace every kwarg in this function with any name. So we're basically just using the if statement to check for specific keys in this parameter. So if this key exists, print it out alongside the assigned value. And we're calling the function here on line 13, and we're providing all these arguments. We have name and we set it to say. We have age and we give it the value 25. We have the key country and we give it the value Nigeria. So let's try and run this code. Oh, we have an error. I didn't make this any name, so sorry about that. I'll clear and let's run the code again. And now notice that we have these values, these key value pairs printed out: name and say, age 25, country Nigeria. Basically, that's how to write a function that prints an arbitrary number of keyword arguments. It can help make your code flexible, and you can play with the arguments at the point of function call, and it makes your code clearer, easier to read. I hope that this makes sense. If you have any questions or comments, please say them in the comments section, and remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching. See you in my next one. Bye.